Hi, Sharon Dammy here with another 2-minute tip, and this is the second in the mini series of modern etiquette. Now, just a word about some of this. Some of these things that I'm going to repeat, we've known or we've heard about or we've been taught, as young people, hopefully. But with our world becoming more and more congested and with different cultures mingling together, the sort of generally accepted rules of how to interact in public spaces has really become, difficult. So I'm going to go over some of those things in this playlist just to remind ourselves why it's important, not only for courtesy's sake, but just for us all to be able to move through life a little bit smoother. Now, in public places, when we're walking down the street, always pass on the right. And if there's two or more of you gathered where you're taking up the whole sidewalk, it's better to walk in twos behind one another so that you can allow people on the other side of the street to pass. And of course, I've spoken about doors, but whoever's the last through the door, if there's still somebody else coming through, if it's possible for you to hold the door for them, that's a really good idea. And on elevators, let people off before you get on. And the same goes for subways and public transit of any kind. Let the people off and stand to the side so that they can get off. And when you are on escalators, when you get to the top or the bottom, don't just stand there wondering where to go. Move off to the side so that the traffic behind you can move easily. And here's one that people often forget. Whoever does the inviting for lunch or dinner or cocktails or whatever it is, unless arrangements have been made prior, they usually pick up the tab. Of course, this is one that almost goes without saying, but respect other people's time. Be punctual, and if you can't, let them know either through a text or email or something that you're going to be detained in some way, shape, or form. It's just common courtesy. Now, if you make a mistake or you do something wrong or you hurt somebody, the easiest way to deal with it is to give a sincere apology. Everyone loves an apology, and what an apology does is it stops any escalation of what could turn into a difficult situation. Here's one of my favorites. Let's use our big boy and big girl words. Using profanity doesn't solve anything, and it doesn't get your point across at all. Make a good friend of your thesaurus and include some better descriptions of what you're really trying to say rather than just, And in conversations, learn the art of listening. Other people want to talk to. And sometimes in some situations, on certain subjects, every one of us from one time or another has a tendency sometimes to maybe dominate the conversation. If you're finding that that's what's happening, finish your thought and then ask other people what they think or what their thoughts are or what their ideas are. Ask for their feedback, and when you get it, paraphrase back to that person so that they know you've heard them or understood them to some degree. That is a gift that keeps on giving, the gift of listening. Oh, and I should add, when someone else is speaking and it triggers a thought in your mind, either write it down or make a mental note of it. Do not interrupt. And then oftentimes take that conversation down a different track. We oftentimes see this on the news where there's punditry going on with politics, etc., and people are jumping in and talking over each other. Nobody can hear when that happens, and points aren't being made. And when you really listen, let the person finish and then speak, it just shows an incredible amount of respect, and oftentimes you will be listened to better when it comes your turn to speak. And one more thing about listening. Listen with your whole body. Don't just sit there like, okay, are you finished yet? Look at your watch or anything, those things. Try to be involved with your body language, with your eye contact. It shows a more than a respect. It shows a higher level of respect, really, when you really listen, and even to people who you fervently disagree with. It helps to make the communication between the two of you or the group of you much more tolerable. And another point in the listening category, when the other person has finished speaking what they want to say, take a beat, ponder, and show that you are seriously considering what they said. That has incredible power. And the last point about listening, turn your cell phone off. Or even when you're eating, or when you turn it off. But if you're waiting for an emergency call of some kind or something that's really important, do the courteous thing and let the members in your party know that you are expecting or may be expecting a call, and you just want to let them know ahead of time. You will excuse yourself when and if you get it. Again, that's a courteous and polite thing to do. Okay, that's it for this week. Just again, a few reminders of the common courtesies or politeness or civility that we need to kind of bring back or remind ourselves of to use in our daily life. It really does make life much better. Okay, we'll see you next time.